Welcome to the Mismatch. I'm Chris Vernon. Joining me as he does every week from TheRinger.com is Dave Jacoby. Jacoby!
Verno, what's going on with the Thunder? I mean, should they just tank and call it a gap year and just sort of, they're going to have they got a lot of draft picks coming up. Should they just sort of give up on this year and just treat it as a gap year like the Warriors did when Steph got hurt? And then just sort of like re-engage with the league next season.
We had a totally historic moment last night. Just for a reference point, Action Network put this up last night. NBA teams as 15-plus underdogs since 2006 have been 20 and 381. 401 times a team has been a 15-plus point underdog. And last night, this applied because the Hornets were 15.5-point underdogs. And not only did they win, they won outright and smashed the Thunder.
Oh, they didn't just win outright.
I know.
It wasn't close. That was a blowout win. SGA sat in the fourth quarter, not because they were ahead, because they were behind. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like the Thunder, are not championship favorites or not the best team in the league. But what we've seen in the last couple weeks is the manifestation of problems that they've had for the last couple years, but now it's just coming to the forefront. Rebounding, hitting threes, half-court offense, relying too much on SGA. Like, their last few losses, those demons have come out from underneath the bed and are now terrorizing them.
So I thought on the crazy take you were going to – I didn't know you were going to go with should they just – tank for a draft pick.
I was just joking.
I know. The better one is, did Jalen Williams screw up the Thunder?
Well,
they were the 2016 Warriors. J-Dub came back, and what are they like? They're 10-6? I think since he's come back.
If to be serious about that, I think the lack of him getting into the paint has put more on SGA. I think what has screwed up the Thunder at this point is just the reliance on SGA to score 30, 35, to be the sole engine of offense. And don't forget AJ Mitchell, who they didn't rely on last year, but he's another player that can beat his man off the dribble and start someone slides, now he kicks, swing, kick, and then maybe hit a three or attack again. It's J-Dub not being a second driver into the lane to create those things.
He's not himself. The guy's coming off wrist surgery. He's coming off. He's not himself. And if we're being fair, last night we can make it a bigger deal than it is. Last night is the only goofy one. At San Antonio, at Minnesota, at San Antonio, Phoenix, or if you want to call those neutral, and then at Phoenix. Charlotte's the only one.
And the Blazers one was they were ahead. Yeah, this is the only goofy one. And you know what? I thought about a great basketball philosopher when I was considering this game and what I should say on the Mismatch, the most popular basketball podcast in the world, not just the nation.
Right.
Is you said, oh God, I forgot where you got it.
Oh, now you've already forgotten the great philosopher.
No, it was you said you were quoting someone else, obviously, but you're the source to me. And it was like, some nights they ain't got it. Some nights the other team ain't got it. Yeah, that whole thing.
This is Hubie Brown.
Yeah,
it's Hubie Brown. So he's the second coach I ever covered. Sidney Lowe was the first coach for, I don't know, less than 20 games. And Hubie Brown came in, and one night I used to go to every pregame and postgame press conference that he did, and he was just this wealth of knowledge. And one of the things that stuck out to me was he said there's 5 games a year where your team's got it and the other one doesn't. It doesn't matter. The circumstances doesn't matter. It's just what's going to happen. And then there's 5 the other way. And he goes, and then there's the other 72. And I do think there is a wisdom to that. Maybe it is just making excuses, but there are certain games where your team ain't got it, the other team's making everything, and you sit there and you go, all right, that's one of them, right? That's I do think that there's the guy was around the NBA for literally 100 years. Like, he used to tell Kentucky Colonel stories from like the ABA, right? So he knew what he was talking about. And just the point is, if we're breaking it down, there's just these outliers. There's outlier games that take place throughout. Now, I thought what was super fascinating is Bobby Marks put this up, and he was like, look, I know people are going to make this about the Thunder, but I look at this through the prism of the Hornets. And when they have had LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Con Knipple, and Miles Bridges, they are 9-4. And his point was health matters.
Let's not just breeze over Diabate, too, because I like Diabate, and he's a serviceable center, but those other four guys have all had stretches where they looked like some of the best players in the league.
Yes. And the point is, like, when they're healthy, they're pretty good. Like, this is not 9-4 is a real record. And what if they were able to keep their guys out on the court? Like, you look at the roster, and especially because Knipple is immediately awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, he's already, like, watch their game. The guy is already fantastic. And so that's just found money. And Brandon Miller hasn't been able to be on the court. So if you ever could, and same with LaMelo. LaMelo's had his health problems. But it's like, you've got these good players. If they could ever just all be on the court at the same time, you see the results. And it is reason to believe, for these teams that have been injured so far this year. You sit there, everybody always goes, well, if we were ever healthy, and, many times your team is never healthy. Trust me, I'm around one that's never healthy. But they are the hope for the guy that sits there and goes, man, I like the team. I like the players they have. They're just never on the court together. And if they ever were, so we'll see. Like, maybe the Hornets are a team that could turn up in the second half. If they can keep those guys on the court, they're going to get more wins than people expect them to get. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I also think that this was a back-to-back. They just lost to the Suns. They had to travel because I think that the Suns game was in Phoenix. And that's always hard. But SGA had 9 points in the first half. He was 3 for 12 in the first half. Didn't play the fourth quarter. He just looked exhausted. Like, I feel like it's starting to come. I just feel like the checks and balances for the output that he has every single night. We praise him for being so consistent. We praise him for getting to the line. Getting to the line means you're playing physical, means you're bumping into people, means you're creating contact. And I just think it's sort of like a running back who just carries the ball too many carries every game. You can't scale that out and extrapolate that out through 82 games. And I think that J-Dub not being himself, even like missing J. Will and AJ Mitchell being out a bunch and Caruso being out, like, they're missing guys. And I think that they've got, like, it's been working thus far. Hey, give the ball to Shea and he'll take us home. And I think after a while, like, Shea's like, can someone else take us home? Like, could someone else just take over possession? Because there's too much on him. There's just too much on him.
Well, and one of the things we talked about at the end of the year was they have had, statistically, they had the easiest schedule thus far. They had run through it, and we were having 2016 Warriors conversations, but they had the easiest schedule, win percentage wise, and it was going to start getting harder for them. And so there's probably a lot of different factors as to why. I don't think the Thunder are still an incredible basketball team that is going to be there at the end unless something crazy happens. They are. Come on.
When you say at the end, you mean the NBA Finals?
No, the West Finals.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. I mean,
what I mean? And so
this is second round matchup.
This is regular season stuff, and this kind of stuff does happen. This is the ebb and flow of a season, and it's probably everybody's fault for thinking that they could go 80-2. Because that's not the way this usually goes. And on the other side, most importantly, shout out to the Hornets. Shout out to the Hornets fans. And shout out to the Hornets fan. I mean, that is one that you remember. It's the biggest upset of the NBA season. And so it's something to hold on to. It's something to get excited about. And hope springs eternal when you go and win a game like that against the Oklahoma City Thunder when nobody expected you to. And for those that have stuck with it, and you're just inundated, I can imagine if you're a Charlotte fan, there's nothing more annoying than every morning jumping on Instagram and just reading LaMelo, Trae and Ja and throwing them in the same bucket and thinking about your best player going elsewhere.
Unserious.
And it's like, it's just never anything good. It's just always, where's LaMelo going to go? And it's like, whoa, hold on now. And their team is fun to watch. They are fun to watch.
Two things. One thing about the Hornets, I've always loved watching the Hornets. I love LaMelo Ball. I always have. But this was like an ensemble cast where everyone was playing their role to a T. You know what I mean? Like Brandon Miller looked like an absolute scorer. Just every time he rose up from three, contested, uncontested, whatever, it just felt like it was going in and winning 7 times out of 10. And then you've got LaMelo Ball. We've all seen the algorithm has sent everybody listening to this podcast his circus shots and his just like weirdness. And Knippel,
one-legged last night.
He had 2 that were just like, what are you doing? Like, it's like you're lucky that went in because otherwise that's going to be a Shaq and a fool. And Knippel just being solid, and Bridges, defense and rebounding, and Diabate just being tall and rim protecting and not dribbling. Everyone played their role perfect.
And we have obviously our inflatable car salesman's on the roster too.
He wasn't in the game though.
Kalkbrenner. He wasn't.
They're missing Kalkbrenner and Plumlee. The depleted Hornets. And also, I just want to say, because we lived through so many years where it was inevitable the Warriors and the Cavs were going to play in the finals. It felt like when LeBron was in the Heat, he would be in the finals. When LeBron was in the Cavs, he would be in the finals. It just felt like the regular season was just like inevitable.
Yeah. And
the Thunder being this weak at this point makes it so much more fun to be a fan of the sport as a whole.
I agree. I do quite like the one team is the team to beat, but it still feels that way.
But I like
last
when they're
night
beatable.
Felt enormous. It felt enormous. Right.
I like it when they're beatable.
Yeah. Right. KD shot down the Rockets, the Suns last night. 3 times, I think, this season, you and I have texted, didn't you get KD for this moment and Şengün inevitably gets the last shot of the game? I feel like that's happened 3 different times this year where Şengün is taking the game winner and we're like, you have Kevin Durant, which people have been trying to block a shot for 20 years and you can't. So why not just give him the ball and let him take the game winner? Well, in the absence of Şengün, they gave KD the ball and he hit the game winner.
Guess what? Just made it look easy too. This was an awesome game. I was locked in on this game. I was not cruising around because this was really tight. The Suns played really well, and Amen Thompson had this crazy crossover and one finish because the Suns were on a 10-0 run because the Rockets kind of had this one sewed up at home, and Amen Thompson hits this crazy and one finish to make it 97-97. And there's also this time where Devin Booker gets the ball with 29 seconds left, right? And so obviously the shot clock is 24 seconds. So the Rockets are going to get the ball back. And he stands at midcourt and holds it. The shot clock's at 15. They're he'll probably start the action at 10. And he holds it. And it's just it was so weird. And then he starts his action at 5 seconds, takes a terrible shot, and then KD just comes back and wins. It was so weird.
Okay, that was a function of the game winner he had hit against the Thunder. It was.
Well, but he's going to give them the ball if he hits the shot or not.
Right.
So if there's less than 24 seconds, I understand.
It felt like he was taking the same shot, though. You remember where he just pulled up from 36 feet?
Yeah.
At the end of the Thunder? It felt like that.
Oh, do you know what no one will ever mention about this game? After KD hits the 3, the Rockets are up 3. They run this play for Booker to get the ball, and I think it was O'Neal. Yeah. O'Neal basically stole the ball. Booker rips it away from O'Neal. He's not facing the basket, turns and shoots, and It is online, and I thought it was going in, and I think it was a little strong, like back rimmed and out, but it looked like it was going in. And if he hit that shot, I was just like, this is Booker's year.
Well, especially because Durant had hit the would-be game winner with 1 second left and did the get the F out of here.
Well, because they called it 3 seconds. It was 0.3 seconds initially, but then they reviewed it and made it 1.1. It was a huge difference between 0.3 and 1.1 seconds in the NBA.
Especially, like, it would be the equivalent of, like, Damian Lillard doing the bye-bye, and then, like, the other team gets a chance to tie. Like, oh, no. Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, Kevin Durant, it was 1.1 seconds left. I texted you. I said, there's too much time. Like, 1.1.
Almost was.
1.1, you can get a dribble off.
Well, he caught the ball, and he was facing the crowd. Yep. He had time to turn around and let it off. It really looked like that was going in, but it did feel a bit like Booker was feeling himself. And he's like, no matter what, I can get whatever I need to get off in 5 seconds. And I wouldn't mind if, I don't know, they passed the ball a couple times that possession, ran a high screen, just something besides Booker holding the ball for 20 seconds. It just felt like that's what you do when the shot clock is off, not when there's a 5 second differential.
You said game of the year was Nuggets Sixers.
It was. It was game of the year.
Game of the year.
There's stars everywhere.
Dude, Jalen Pickett. I've been waiting. For those that are longtime listeners of the Mismatch, he was one of the guys that I really liked in that draft because he was at Penn State. Like, he had originally been at, like, Siena, and then he was at Penn State. He was a veteran player at Penn State. And this guy, I was like, Penn State basketball? And then I watched him, and it was like college Andre Miller or something. He was, like, posting people up. He was just so, by far, the best player on the floor. I loved him. And then he got drafted by the Nuggets, and then he's just kind of not had his opportunity.
Well, Michael Malone wouldn't play him. That was one of those things between Michael Malone and the front office where they're like, play this kid, he's good. Michael Malone's like, no. And that's just one of the many sort of situations that were like that with the young players and the Nuggets and, the front office. And
it does speak to, like, the Nuggets and, like, the depth that they now have that they did not prior to, right? Like, they obviously got some good players that don't get to play for them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, that is you, and you have seen that, like, their depth has been tested this year because we were talking about how, man, as long as you have Murray and Jokic, they've had Christian Brown out, they'd have Aaron Gordon out, and, like, they were just plugging and playing. And so it'd be Watson, it would be just different guys every night, and guys that had stepped up that weren't supposed to be in the situations that they were in. And now, in the absence of Jokic, I mean, like, this truly gets pressed. And you're seeing guys that you just haven't even gotten to see get real minutes before. It is always interesting to me, like with a Pickett or with anybody else. Like, one of the things I think about through the dynamics of the NBA is everybody, in most cases, the transition is very hard for the guy that was the best player on the team, right? Because that's the guy who's functioned with the ball. That's the guy that's functioned with as a best player on his team. And typically he's been the best player on his team since he was a child. And now I've got to figure out how to be a role player, right? I can't do all of the things that got me to this point are not the things that I am called to do because there are now better players than me on said team. And a lot of guys have a very difficult time transitioning into being a role player. The trick is going to be what happens when you don't get, like, just have the freedom to be able to play, to be able to go out there and make mistakes, when you have the freedom to go take shots that you wouldn't normally take if you had all of your guys like, and that's the fine line between being able to have a long and productive NBA career and not for so many different guys in the league. And I'm not just using Jalen Pickett or whatever, but, like, Jalen Pickett's got to figure out how to be awesome when he gets 6 shots, when he gets 8 shots, right? And so I've seen this happen a lot, and you see it all the time with tanking teams, right? The guy that gets to go out there and he gets to, like, there's all manner of guys in the league that could be super productive, and then they use that as their they use that as their belief that, like, if you let me cook, I could go cook. But like the truth is, you don't get to, right? There's Draymond Green used to go to these basketball camps all the time, and he'd say, "There's two guys that get to do whatever they want to do. The rest of y'all got to figure out a role." And so the trick is, you obviously have talent, and there's so many guys that we've seen that have this talent that have gotten their opportunities this year. And how many times have we highlighted guys that are like
I think
stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Michael Porter Jr. is a great example of this.
Sure.
Everyone's like, Michael Porter Jr., leap year. Michael Porter Jr. is most improved, figured out. No, this is the same Michael Porter Jr. that's been
right.
in the NBA the whole time. He's just been on a team with Jokic and Murray, who are much better on the ball than he is.
That's it.
Guess what? You put him on the ball. You design the whole offense around his success. He's going to be successful. I think that's a good example of sort of what you're talking about. So a player who was like the number one ranked guy in high school, had the back issues, went a bit later in the draft than he thought, ended up on a very good team because he went a little bit later in the draft.
Yep.
And his role was to sort of knock down open threes and play some defense and get some rebounds. But now he's on the Nets. His role is to be the guy. And guess what? He can be the guy. He could have been the guy the whole time. They had better guys in Denver, and he won a championship.
Right. And so we'll see on some of those guys, but they're obviously talented, right? The talent's there. It's harnessing the talent into being what's most effective for the team, right? Can you still be effective when you're not getting to have free reign? And that's the trick to having a career.
In this particular game, watching it, I didn't think it was like that bad from the Sixers because the Sixers are healthy. Embiid played a ton of minutes. He had 32 points. I couldn't stay in front of Pickett for the life of him. He was never great when he got switched on to Smalls, but after the last couple of years, that's not a defensive strategy that you can go to. But I thought they did a good job just to even take it to overtime. And let me tell you something, man. VJ Edgecombe will do like 2 or 3 things a night that will just blow your mind.
Oh my God.
He'll like rookie of the year, best rookie,
whatever. I don't want to talk about him.
But like VJ Edgecombe,
I don't want to talk about him.
Why don't you want to talk about him?
So right after Christmas, I had an experience that I don't normally have. The game was on Peacock.
Yeah. That was the night we had a show. Yeah, day after Christmas, 26th, right?
Grizzlies Sixers.
Yeah.
Game was on Peacock, so I didn't have to work. Daughter says, I want to go to the game. Said, we're in. Let's go. So I took the kids. I went as a fan. I never get to sit in the stands. I go as a media member like every game I ever go to. I never get to go as a fan. First time I cannot remember the last time I sat in the stands as a fan. But I sat there and, I got the whole fan experience. I mean, I am going to sue the guy that handed my daughter 96 Thunder Sticks because
it's right next to you.
I mean, he's getting sued.
And Haley's high energy. She's a high energy dude.
So Haley's at the game, and I'm talking every time out, trying to get on the Jumbotron, dancing. Every defense, every possession, cheering. Like the whole time. So for 2.5 straight hours, and the game went to overtime. Okay? And VJ Edgecombe hit a game winner. And we're walking out. And, buddy, when you talk about pissed, I mean, and I'm like, look, went down to the wire. I was like, Coward almost hit a 3 to tie it. I was like, you saw Ja Morant have 40, like his best game in forever. She's like, I don't care. And I was like, oh, come on. And she's like, no. And she looked at me. This is what she said. This is like going to be like a villain origin story. She looked at me and she goes, I cheered all that time for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Got in the car, dead silent.
Grizzlies
didn't
let her
want
down.
to talk. Yeah. Oh, no. Didn't want to talk about it.
She's putting 100% effort out on the floor. Grizzlies are not.
She gave it everything she had, and it wasn't enough.
She left it on the floor.
And I said, Haley, if you wouldn't have cheered, there's no chance that thing goes to overtime. She's like, shut up. So she's probably going to ask me for a VJ Edgecombe jersey sometime soon. And then she's going to be like a Sixers fan. It's going to be a nightmare.
What percentage of you thinks what are the chances VJ Edgecombe ends up being a better pro than Cooper Flag?
I don't want to do this.
That's a tough one. I don't even want to answer it either. But it's not zero. It's not zero. It's less than 50.
It's 1.
It's 1?
1% chance.
That's fair.
Cooper Flag's going to be one of the best players in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean,
it's for sure.
The second I saw him, when everybody that listens to this show for a long time knows, I saw him at 16. I came back on the show. I said that I just saw the best 16-year-old basketball player I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, these AAU teams he had nothing on this team from Maine, and they were 94 feet double teaming him, and he was still like, I watched the game. The guy had 14 blocks, Jacoby.
Yeah.
He's 16. I've been all in on Cooper Flag for too many years.
If I was a Sixers fan, I would absolutely love the idea of getting rid of George and Embiid and just having this backcourt and building around him.
Oh, he is fun. He's fun,
so
too.
Fun.
He is fun to watch.
He had this dunk.
No, he is.
He's flying down the lane, cutting to the basket. Someone gives him the ball, and he just jumps off of 1 foot, 2 hands, cocks it behind his head, far enough so the defender just breezes past the defender, dunks with 2 hands, and hangs on the rim in traffic.
Yep.
And then he hits a 3 like it was nothing, like 2 possessions later.
One of the things as basketball fans that we have lamented this season is that, hey, man, Clippers, you can't be dogs because your pick is going to the Thunder. And what are you trying to create? Like a 10-year dynasty? Like, what are we doing here? Like, you can look at the Clippers being a little feisty. Another win.
The Clippers were like 3 weeks ago. The Clippers were an absolute disaster. They're relieving Chris Paul of his duties. They've lost 8 in a row. The vibes are terrible. And then all of a sudden, Kawhi gets 40, 45, 30. They win 4 or 5 in a row, maybe 6 in a row they won. And then they lost to that Jaylen Brown 50-point performance to the Celtics.
Right.
And this was a Clipper win. Steph hits 2 crazy threes and then fouls out on the dumbest foul. It was like an offensive rebound, and I forget who got it. I think it was like Dunn or something. And he's kind of like reaching for the ball. He's trying to get the rebound, so his arm ends up in a compromised position. He fouls out of the game. And they have a chance to win the game, but it feels so different without Steph Curry on the floor. It feels so different without Steph on the floor.
Well, and I'm going to say, so the Clippers are 13-22. I'm going to give you something that's super strange. And I know you always roll your eyes at the statistical analysis of these teams, right? Games are not played on paper. They are played on a basketball court. But quick 20-second timeout.
I'm all ears. 20 seconds to the shoulders. Yep.
Okay.
I don't think they have those anymore.
My guys over at Shot Quality, I follow this stuff all the time. So it's basically, here's the shots you take, and here's the percentage the times it should go in. Here's the shots you give up. Here's the percentage of time. And so if everything played out on paper rather than on the basketball court, based upon these are what...
It's like the EPA of basketball.
Correct.
Yeah.
The number 1 team in the NBA in shot quality is Oklahoma City. Unsurprising. The number 2 team in shot quality is Denver. Okay. The number 3, the Los Angeles Clippers. Their record based on shot quality should be 20-14 is what it says. Based upon the shots that were taken in their games and the averages in which those shots are made and missed, their record should be 20-14. Like, you look through the rest of the teams and you're going to go, like, they all have good records. The Lakers, the Knicks, Minnesota, Detroit, the Rockets. The Warriors are kind of an outlier. They should be better than they've been so far based on shot quality. But this is like the shot quality anomaly of all anomalies. Like, it says that the Clippers should have been better all year than what they've been. That record that they have is like bad luck because they win the metrics on a regular. They should be 20-14 based upon shot quality. Now, again, you can roll your eyes at shot quality. I got it. I'm just presenting it, right? If people want to roll their eyes at shot quality and say, who cares? That's fine. But the metrics say they should be much better. Like, their record should be much better this year. And so it's interesting now that I'm sure there's some nerds out there that have been keeping track of this that are going, this is the regression to the mean. Yeah, okay, so the Clippers are winning games out. Like, they lost tons of games they should not have lost early in the season based upon the metrics. And now they're winning a bunch. And it's like, this is what should have always been happening. Maybe they're winning at an excessive rate right now, but this team is not playing up to what the computer says they should be playing to right now. Their record is not indicative of the way they've actually played the game and the shots they've given up and the shots they've taken. I just find it interesting because they are, I mean, who on earth would think most all of the teams that are high in shot quality are good teams with good records.
With wins.
Except for them.
I think when the numbers are so far away from the story that there's something there. And I think that you pointed out earlier, like the Thunder's sort of strength of schedule. It's like, they're losing now because they're playing better teams.
Right.
And you know what? The Clippers are winning now because they can't be the only team that has this huge gap between expected shots and shots going in the basket.
Right.
Like, it's just like, that's not how it works. They put so many variables into that equation, like, how good the shooter is and where they're shooting from and who the defender is and how far the defender is away. Like, they drill that thing down with all the variables. It does sort of seem like this is bad luck. There will be a regression to the mean. But what I expected the Clippers to be this season, because I like the addition of Collins. I mean, Beal is whatever. But, like, I like the addition of Collins. And they had such a good defense last year. And, like, no one said this, but, like, Zubac isn't the same Zubac from last year.
No.
At all.
No.
But I can see a world in which they're not the terrible team that we thought they were 3 weeks ago. Maybe they're not the top 2-3 team in the West that we thought they were going into the season, but they're going to be heard from when the snow melts and you start wearing your t-shirts outside. I think the Clippers will still be in the conversation.
Well,
I don't think this is going to be hand the number 3 pick over to the Thunder type.
As long as they can keep Kawhi Leonard on the court.
Yeah, no James Harden yesterday either.
Right.
Got to win.
But Kawhi Leonard he's averaging 28 a game.
It's stupid.
And
it doesn't look hard for him.
He's been great.
It looks effortless. It looks absolutely effortless for him.
Yep. All right, you ready? I've let you go 30 minutes into this pod. Are you ready to talk about the Knicks?
No.
Are you ready to talk about the Detroit dancers doing their routine?
Oh my!
And at the end of their routine, them playing that sound clip in the arena.
It's funny. I was saying you'd be mean if you're funny.
After all that. After all that. Yo, the Pistons were out for blood last night.
Oh, my God. I mean.
Yo.
I said on the text, they're out everything. They were out coached, out hustled, out shot, out dressed, out paced, out everything. Like, they didn't have Durant. And the physicality of the Pistons was just way too much. It looked like older brother, younger brother stuff. Like, the defense, I think the Pistons defense is one of the most underrated units in the entire league.
How big of a mess was Towns? Oh,
I mean,
that was like schoolyard bully stuff. Just turning the ball over, driving into traffic. I mean, that was rough. That was a rough one. That was a cat hater's dream. Last night watching that. You soft ass. I mean, it was just so soft.
It felt like the Pistons had something to prove after the playoff series last year, which I'll say a million times over was much closer than you think it was. And I also think that they've kind of I think they did some extra scouting on Cat because I watch a lot of Cat. And when he's dribbling to the basket, when he dribbles watch how high he dribbles. Like that thing goes up around his chest. And he turned the ball over so many times just having the ball swiped from him.
Well, that's the thing. You got to get mega physical with him, right? You got to get mega physical. No. Get mega physical with him. Like, that's the book. That's it, right? And it's easier said than done. And a lot of times he'll just stand out at the three-point line and bomb you out from there. Next thing you know, he's hit 7 threes because, he's not down in there. But, like, make him feel it immediately. Like, that's always been the trick. Most people can't pull it off, though.
That was embarrassing last night. Like, that was a really bad loss. There's no fight. They never made a run.
That felt like that mattered an enormous amount to the Pistons. Like, that felt like we are making a statement tonight. I feel you watch that game unfold and you feel like one locker room was completely different than the other locker room before that game.
Yes.
One locker room was like, we are out for blood. This, this is the night we show them. And like it mattered. And the other team was just like, this is a regular season basketball game. And like, that's the way it played out. It played out like one team was like, no, we're going to whoop your ass tonight. You know what I mean? And like the other team did not have that whoop your ass energy at all.
We've seen so many NBA games. Usually when one team jumps out to a lead, the other team makes a run and makes the other team call timeout and it gets close again in the third quarter or something. It just never happened.
Never.
Start to finish, belt to ass. And Jalen Rose is in the front row, standing up, getting in a defensive stance. And it just hurt my heart. The whole thing. It was a bad experience. I got to be honest. I changed the channel in the second half. I was like, I can't watch this anymore. I know how this story ends, and I'm not going to be here for it. There are other games I need to pay attention to.
One of the things
I had to kill the Peacock app for a while there.
One of the things that's crazy about watching them too is every time there is the visual of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Brunson, it really looks like a full-grown adult standing next to a kid.
It looks like the poster for Twins, the movie Twins. That's what it looks like. The poster for the movie Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's like the most. It's the moment when you're watching and you're like, Jesus, he is huge. Like Cunningham is like 6'8", and he makes Brunson look so small. And you're like, how are these guys both point guards? How is this possible? This guy looks like a monster standing next to Brunson. Like they should be in two different leagues. And I know
one of the biggest problems for the Knicks is you can see Cade Cunningham can stay in front of Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson would never be matched up with Cade Cunningham. Never. Right. He'll be in the corner covering the shooter.
Couple news items that we need to get to. We just did our 2016 predictions. I didn't think by January 6th I was going to get this, but I had. We finally get the Trae Young deal. It was my last one. Mm-hmm. That was our last show of 2025. I mean, we haven't even made it a week in. And now Mark Stein, like, usually when there's smoke, there's fire, especially when there is player named, not like, you had two things happen yesterday for those that have not been keeping up. You had the obligatory Trae Young is open to moving. So there's one side of it, right?
Yeah. No, his representation has met with the front office, and they're having good discussions about moving on from Trae Young or whatever the word.
And then you have not only a team he might go to, but the major piece that would be included in the package. And it's like, at this point, to me, it would be shocking if there is not a Trae Young to the Washington Wizards in a deal that includes CJ McCollum coming back deal, right? Like, it's just too specific. It's too specific. It's like, not only have we know they're talking about deals, and now we have specifics of who exactly, like, we've been spending the last several years, like, who would even trade for Trae Young? And what would you even get back for Trae Young? And whatever. Like, Mark Stein literally put it out there. Like, here's the deal, and here's the guy that would be included, and then there will be other stuff that obviously has to get shaken out. But, I mean, when I text back to you yesterday when we were talking about this, I was like, look, this is – you get a good character guy that can play on the ball that's going to fall off the books. Like, you're not getting talent value back. So you look at, sometimes you are trading for draft capital and talent, the young talent. That's probably not going to be in the cards in a Trae Young deal. And sometimes you are looking for relief in order to build your team going forward. And the biggest relief is we're not going to pay this guy anyway. Once you've come to terms with the fact that I'm not signing this guy to an extension. So and you find a landing spot. So the Washington Wizards would then become the landing spot for Trae Young. And I think at this point I'd be shocked if it didn't happen.
It makes a lot of sense for both parties because, like you said, McCollum's big contract comes off the books. And I feel like they built this team with Trae Young as the point guard in mind. And I think that his injury was really instructive as to what they should do moving forward. And Jalen Johnson's ascension, although he did kind of get locked up last night against the Raptors, but his ascension has sort of like shown a path forward that perhaps a Trae Young based team is not going to be the most successful team for us. And the number that Trae's going to demand is insane. But if I'm the Wizards or the Wizards fans, this is awesome.
So
this is awesome.
This is what Stein said. There have definitely been conversations today. Like, that's when he reported it. So it's like, okay, like this is down the road a little bit. Sources tell the Stein line that the Wizards have been actively exploring their trade options with McCollum, who is playing out the final year of his $30 million contract with Washington after Washington acquired the veteran guard in an offseason deal that sent Jordan Poole to the Pelicans. More salary would have to be added by Washington to make the salary cap math work in a trade for Young, and it's believed that the Hawks would also have to send the Wizards draft capital to convince them to absorb Young's contract. But the prospect of Atlanta trading its most popular player is only growing as the February 5th deadline nears. Sources tell the Stein line that Young has been in communication in recent days with general manager Ansi Salah and is aware of Atlanta's ongoing efforts to canvass the trade market for their four-time All-Star. He's got $46 million this year and a $49 million player option next year. And so, obviously, Atlanta's 2-8 with him, 15-12 without him. And he was scheduled to miss his fifth successive game last night in Toronto. So anyways, I mean, the interesting part is the Hawks having to include draft capital.
That's wild.
I mean, wow.
But the guy led the league in assists last year, and now I have to attach draft capital to get CJ McCollum and like AJ Johnson and the Thunder 2026 pick back.
And you can also, look, people can poke holes all they want, and I know everybody hates Trae Young. And it's probably not a fit with what they've got in Atlanta right now, and it's fine that they're going to move on. You cannot take away that he was the best player on a team that made a conference finals. Like, that's happened. That happened.
Yes.
However, and you can poke holes in everybody's road to get to that moment, but that happened. And it is kind of crazy that you look up now and it's like, yeah, you're going to have to convince them to, not only are they going to get Trae Young, but they're going to get draft capital as well in order, because his contract's $49 million.
It's got to be like a second rounder or something, though. Like that,
I don't know.
I don't even know what the Hawks have left to give, but I can't see them sending
our boy Joe House. We got to confer with him.
I think I'd love this if I was a Wizards fan. Because here's one of the things about Trae Young is he's exciting to watch, and he's going to win you some games single-handedly. The Wizards become a better team if you swap out AJ Johnson, McCollum for Trae Young, and he can pass the ball. He can shoot from deep. He opens up the floor. The geometry of the floor spreads when he's on the floor, and hopefully we'll see some like Alex Sarr catch and lob stuff that we haven't really seen from him. I love Sarr as a prospect.
All right. I mean, and maybe he can teach Trae Johnson. You got two Traes there, right?
Oh, that's going to be, maybe they can't trade him. Too many Traes. One thing I found interesting about this whole thing is this overshadows the reports that the Hawks are opening to trading Reese Shea. Because I just found that weird. It's like you've got this number one pick who hasn't performed up to your standards. The second year is not as good as the first year.
Well, look,
that's someone I would keep in-house and develop rather than sort of trade for 50 cents on the dollar.
This is one of those, though, where when we were giving our predictions at the end of the year, when I said we're going to get the Trae Young deal, you remember when I said you're going to Mark Stein also was the one reporting that there was heavy interest from the Hawks about Anthony Davis. And I don't think it's a coincidence that all the Trae Young stuff comes out. And also in unison with the Trae Young stuff coming out is the AD wants to stay in Dallas and sign an extension in Dallas. Because one of the things I proposed to you was you're going to lessen the blow if you trade off for salary, right? And then because even at that time, they said that they weren't going to that wasn't a Trae Young deal. That Atlanta was interested in Anthony Davis, and that wasn't a Trae Young deal. That would be the Porzingis contract, the Kennard contract, Reese Shea, whatever, right? That's what would move off to Dallas. And so I do wonder if those things are not coincidences, that we get that both news the same day, where it's like, hey, Trae Young is fine to being traded, and here's where he's going to go, and here's what they're going to get in return. Oh, yeah, also, Anthony Davis doesn't want to go anywhere, because if you're making the Trae Young deal, right, like one of the things is you're thinking about rebuilding your team, and we already had those hints that they wanted to go after Davis. And, Dallas has got a decision to make in terms of trying to build out around Cooper Flag. Like, that's the timeline now, is the Cooper Flag
It's
timeline.
A tough decision, because there is a world where Kyrie comes back. You've got Davis and Gafford and PJ Washington, Kyrie and Coop. And you are that big defensive team that Nico dreamed about. But what I don't want to do is extend AD. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't trade him, but extending him does not seem like a good idea.
Right.
He has not looked the same when he's on the floor. So there's one thing I found interesting with last night action is we focus so much on whether Trae Young is on the floor or off the floor for the Hawks. Are they better without him? Are they going to trade him? And Trae Young is this one thing that really changes the Hawks and blah, 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 blah. But no one really mentions the facts that they brought in KP for a reason, for rim protection, catch lobs, spread the floor. I thought he was a very big piece of what they planned to do. And the Celtics obviously won a championship sort of without him, but he played last night. And he is one of those people, sort of like those if healthy people, where they are a very different team if healthy with Kristaps Porzingis. I think that too much of the quote unquote blame of their woes when Trae came back also coincides with KP not being available. But no one mentions that. No one mentions that.
Totally fair. Totally fair. And look, I mean, I think that the big thing that the Trae Young thing has exposed is like they have a budding big time star in Johnson. And so that like you now look and you go, all right, that's what we want to that's the guy we want to think about going forward. The next 5 years of Hawks basketball is planned with Johnson in mind.
And I'll give a quick hat tip to the Raptors, because Scotty Barnes and Colin Murray Boyles was great last night. They made Jalen Johnson's night hard for him last night.
Well, you're number one. Look, it's 30. A different world for Johnson, because you're number one on the whiteboard now.
Yes, he is number one on the whiteboard, and
he's living that life. All right, we got to get to some things that we care about right now. We got 3 each. All right, I'm going to start. Is there a team that is last year's Pacers? And I don't mean we're going to look up and they're in the NBA Finals.
Game 7. Yeah, sure.
But I do mean we got to the end of the calendar year of 2024, and the Pacers were like a totally mediocre basketball team. Right in the middle. No one would have ever in a billion years expected what took place the rest of the way to take place. But once the calendar turned, they turned up, and next thing you know, we're watching them in a Game 7 of an NBA Finals. Is there a team that has been decidedly mid so far that you could see turning up, and we look up at the end, and maybe they are having a chance at a conference finals?
I'll give you 2 options for each conference, and then you decide which is the most realistic. Do you agree?
Sure.
What are you going to say? No? All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I agree.
Eastern Conference. Let's start in the West.
There's one that's super easy.
Western Conference, Phoenix Suns. Throw that out there.
No. They're not.
Phoenix.
They've been a great. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? They could be this year's Pacers for sure.
They've already been an amazing story. They have overachieved. We're talking about a team that has underachieved thus far that has way more potential than what they've shown so far.
Clippers. It's
really?
Clippers. Yeah.
That if we looked up at the end and the Clippers are, you're the shot quality guys are loving you right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, shot quality.
You say Clippers.
In the Western Conference. That are bad now. They've underachieved. Yeah, that's Clippers. I mean, barring trades that could sort of swing things. But yeah, I would say Clippers for the Western Conference. I can't come up with a second one.
How about Portland?
I can't see it happening.
They've had no point guards.
Yeah.
And Denny Avdija is the guy.
Denny Avdija is the guy. The guy. I can't see it happening.
Like if they went on a run in the second half of the season, and again, it's extreme what the Pacers did. Okay, how about the Warriors? No way after watching them last night.
No,
but this is I'm saying, look, this is exactly what happened last year. The Pacers are like under 500. We would have never seen it coming.
I don't see it happening with the Warriors. I don't. No.
They don't have a 30-10 or whatever, a 27-12 in them or whatever the rest of the way. No. I mean, the Clippers would be the one.
The Clippers would be the one in the Western Conference.
Right? Where because we just chronicled that the record should be better already. So let's just say they are, they're 13-22. So that's 35 games, which means you got 47 left. Like if I told you they went 32-15 the rest of the way.
Possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you win 2 out of 3 games. It's possible. I mean, a lot would have to change, obviously. And
that would get you.
Kawhi would have to be there the entire time,
and that would get you to 45 wins.
Zubac would have to be the old Zubac from last year. Harden's available, Kawhi's available.
All right,
sure.
In the East,
it's obvious.
Cleveland.
Yeah, it's Cleveland.
I mean, because they're 20-17.
It's Cleveland,
right? So if there is a team that has been they're 8 right now, going into as we just started the new calendar year.
I think you could also make a Hawks case. You could make a case that sort of moving off of Trae Young settles roles and rotations in a way that just sort of settles the team down, so it doesn't feel like this kind of like flip of a coin. What team are we going to get tonight with the Hawks team? You know what I mean?
16-20 for Milwaukee. Could you see that? No.
No chance.
No chance.
No chance. Who's their second option? Rollins? Kuzma? Like Turner? Like
it's pretty bleak.
Who's the second best offensive engine on their team?
You know what? Who is? We're not taking into account like defense, right? So like, let's take away.
Yeah. Offensive edge.
I guess it still have to be Turner, right? But I might take Bobby. But he's not a guy. I might take Bobby Portis. I like him the most. I know, but I like him the most.
But he can get his own basket.
Yeah,
that's when I look at them. It's like Giannis and shooting. Giannis and shooting is a great plan, and it worked at first. Yeah. But Kevin Porter Jr.?
Maybe.
I mean, that's the thing I look at with that team. I'm like, if it truly is just Giannis and shooting, but Giannis can't play 48 minutes. And sometimes Giannis doesn't play. And then there's no sort of like person to step up in that way.
All right. So that was the first one I thought of. Is
one.
there anybody's Pacers? Last year's Pacers. We got.
I like my position as one of the sole, probably the sole Victor Wembanyama detractor in the entire sports media.
You're the only one. You're the only.
I'm dug into the spot. I'm not happy about it, to be honest with you, because I really like watching him play basketball. But one of the things I care about, because now I'm locked in as a detractor,
right,
is will he stay healthy and establish the Spurs as like legit contenders in the Western Conference? Because let's not forget, he has not played a single playoff game. He's in and out of the lineup. The Spurs are good with him and great with him and good without him. But can they put it together and be the Spurs that we all saw beat the Thunder 3 straight times? Because they have some bad losses on their record too. So that's one of the things I care about is like, which direction will these Spurs go? Are they play-in team or are they hosting a playoff game?
He was 71 games his rookie year, 46 games last year. This year he's played 21 so far. Now, in fairness,
35.
They have been 10-4 without him.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty damn good. Like they have been.
They're a 2 seed right now.
They have shown themselves to be able to win without Victor Wembanyama. I am supposed to see him in person tonight. You want me to go boo him for you? Like,
yeah.
I hope he plays. I really do. I would
tell Haley, buy Haley a seat and bring her.
She's not going.
Tell her to bring a Lose Wembanyama sign.
She's not going. But
after the Edgecombe experience,
after VJ Edgecombe ruined everything.
So you've got home Spurs tonight.
Yes.
Home Dylan Brooks revenge game tomorrow night.
Oh, you think it's going to get bleak where I am? It's Spurs, Suns, Thunder.
Ugh. Thunder too.
Hey. I'm about to make you throw up all over your laptop. Listen to this. Spurs, Suns, Thunder, Sunday, 2:00 in the middle of the NFL playoffs, Brooklyn.
They're going to lose to Brooklyn.
Bro.
Is that in Brooklyn?
No, those are all home games I'm going to.
Oh, my God. So you're going to miss the playoff games?
All 4 of those games. And my producer is the biggest 49er fan in the world. And they play the Eagles at 3, and he has to do radio. Oh, it's a thing. This is not the most fun week in the world.
Oh, my God.
How
many points is Dylan Brooks going to score? 35.
But I hope I get.
Does he get a video? Does Dylan Brooks get a video? How's it work?
Huh?
Does Dylan Brooks get a video? How's it work? Well, he's been back, actually.
We've done that. He's hit a game winner already when he was playing for Houston. All right, next one. Is this going to be the end of the 65-game rule? Oh, boy, has this gotten hot, right? Especially with, and let's go to trainer to the stars, Drew Hanlon, who is the trainer for Embiid and Tatum and everybody else. I've never liked the 65-game rule and always thought all NBA should be positionless, but it's wild how loud some of the media gets when it affects Jokic. Embiid finished second MVP runner-up twice and was second NBA All-NBA, and no one cared. Jokic did it once, and next year All-NBA went positionless. Now the 65-game rule is suddenly a problem because it impacts Jokic. The bias is crazy. So
great angles from him there.
He is presenting that, now the 65-game rule matters. Now, I will say this. It's not just about Jokic. That is obviously him having the greatest season in NBA history, PER-wise, is a thing. But I will say that the 65-game rule has now truly come into focus because at the beginning of the season, we would have said, and virtually every website does this, if you were going to name the best 5 players in the NBA, you would have Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, And then everybody else had who? Wemby and Luka. Those were the 5, though. That was pretty much everybody's top 5. Giannis, Wemby, Luka, Curry, maybe Ant, like all of them. Like, it's not just Jokic. It's all of them. And so I understand how it's easy to say, oh, well, now it affects Jokic, so it's a thing. But we haven't had an MVP that's played less than 65 outside of Bill Walton forever ago. I know this is becoming in focus. I know there's a million videos and takes about how the 65-game rule is ridiculous, but I don't know any other way to go about it. And honestly, if you are not eligible for awards when you don't play 80% of the games, I'm fine with it. I am. I'm fine with it. That's where I've come to terms with. I'm fine with it. Like, would you give MVP to somebody that played 13 NFL games?
Possibly.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, I'll say this. It is supposed to deter load management. It's
Correct.
Supposed to deter national televised games like the one between the Warriors and the Thunder, where the Warriors announced that Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and Steph Curry are not going to play. That is the action that the 65 game is supposed to deter. If there is a situation where a player like Jokic has a historic season statistically and brings a team above expectations in wins and in seeding, and at the end of the year, he played 63 games, that is not the purpose of the 65-game rule because he misses those games because of an injury. So I think what's happening here is
your point would be, you know what? Maybe somebody would get in the NFL if they were 11-2 and the guy threw 50 touchdowns in 13 games.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's kind of what I mean. Like if a running back had 2,000 yards in 13 games, give him the damn trophy. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what Jokic is on pace to do if he doesn't get to 65. Mm. So they make the rule to deter load management, but it could end up punishing players that are just out because of injury. And I think that one of the things we talk about MVP all the time and no one talks about like defensive player of the year, but Victor Wembanyama is the best defensive player in the National Basketball Association.
Right.
And he should probably win that award last year, even though he played 46 games, but that's not enough, obviously. But if he plays 60 games and has whatever, 1 million stocks, it still feels like he should get the trophy. And he's not missing games because of like BS reasons or rest.
Well, and it's not just Jokic. Again, we could look up at the end and the consensus top 5 outside of Dave Jacoby, 4 of them could all not be all NBA players. That's a real thing.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, Jokic, SGA would be the only one who makes it, right?
Jokic, Giannis, Wemby, Luka. I mean, Luka's played 26 of 33 so far. So he's got breathing room. But again,
Luka can get there.
Could. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot of the best players in the league.
That is a lot. What would you do? Adam Silver calls your phone right now. I love the mismatch. I listen to it every week, 3 times a week.
I'd keep it.
Even though it's on twice a week.
I'd keep the rule. Like,
until something, let's just say this. Let's not.
I got it. Like, because it's not as brazen as rest, though, Jacoby. Well, if you're gonna say, fine, we can't sit guys out for rest, then what they're gonna do is just make up phonies.
Exactly.
So they abused it so much that I think this is the only deterrent. Otherwise, if you don't make it a deterrent, they will not adhere to it. I do think that guys play more because of the 65 game thing than they would.
One of my life philosophies, you'll hear a lot of them, is this one I don't 100% believe in, but it works a lot. In work and social life, parenting, whatever. It's not a problem until it's a problem.
Right.
So let's not change the rule until someone like Jokic has a historic season, is the best player, has the number 1 seed in the conference, but played 64 games and doesn't get the trophy. Until someone gets truly unjustly violated by this rule, let's not change it. That's where I'm standing on it.
Fair. The problem is that supermaxes are tied to this. That's what you've got to change.
That's fair. if they ever gave me a vote, which they shouldn't, because I'm an idiot, I would consider it very seriously if I knew like the financial future of someone who's at stake. You know what I mean?
And that's what
Like-
I think that's what you have to change.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because
You know what I mean?
let's say someone has a historic season. They're the best player in the league. They haven't hit a Supermax qualifications yet, and they play 64 games, and that cost them $80 million or something. Like, that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, that needs to be like, look, bro.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to save. You're trying to save organizations from themselves, but they've got to take responsibility for that. You give them the contract you want to give them, right? And I got it, right? But the NBA letting them, like, I mean, I'll give you for instance, right? Memphis saved $100 million on Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Him and Şengün were like a vote short. It's $100 million.
$100 million
different. You know what I mean?
And you know what? And the thing I don't like is they celebrate that, as they should, because it gives them a lot more cap flexibility moving forward.
Right.
But like, I don't want to be in a position if I'm the front office of the Memphis Grizzlies, hoping that my guy doesn't make the All NBA team. Like, that doesn't feel right.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that. My interest should support my goals. I shouldn't be interested in. I shouldn't be hoping that Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't make All NBA. If
next
I'm the
thing you
Memphis
care,
Grizzlies.
next thing you care about.
This one is simple. It's just kind of troublesome. I wrote the Celtics off as like bad, you know, a few weeks into the season, as everybody else did, like the first month of the season. And now they're awesome. And now Jaylen Brown is scoring 50 points on the Clippers. And like Jason Tatum videos are coming out every single day. Like, is Tatum going to come back and like really change the Eastern Conference?
Oh, you're turning this into a Jason Tatum thing.
Yeah. Like, I don't think this Celtics team is like a threat to go to the NBA Finals.
I thought,
but like, you add Tatum into this? Like, I don't want to see that team in the playoffs.
With this angle, I thought you were going to do the Jason Kidd was right. Can we have the conversation that this guy's this is not Robin. This is a guy that did everything that he was. He like played a role, but when given the opportunity to be the man, look at what he's done. Look at what Jaylen Brown has done. Jason Kidd was right. He always has been the best player on that team. I thought that's what you were going to do.
Oh, hell no. No. I mean, I do have a dark heart and I'm generally negative, but I'm more as a concerned Knicks fan, being like, the Pistons are a tough out. The Cavs are floundering. Like, you know, no one else is that scary in the conference. And next thing you know, the Celtics just keep winning and winning and winning. It's like Jordan Walsh. You're just like, what is going on, dude? Queta, I've always liked him. Queta.
He's good.
I've always liked him. Like, he was getting such limited minutes like 2 years ago. I was like, I kind of like his bounce and his energy. Like, I like him.
I had their game on last night, and I mean, they were stomping the Bulls.
Oh, yeah. I turned that off real quick.
Oh,
I wasn't
my
even watching
God.
It. Yeah.
Just stomping them out. And Brown couldn't make a shot. And they were still stomping him.
I know
he was
too.
He was like 4 for 1,000, and
he looked bad.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he looked bad. He's coming off that 50-point Clippers win.
So you're doing that. So we need to start looking like, could the Celtics actually like wreck some stuff?
If Jason Tatum had 2 months of NBA basketball under his belt and looked like himself, I would hate to play the Celtics in a 7-game series. I would hate it.
That may be so, but as currently constructed, this is regular season good, not playoff good.
I just think they're just too thin in the front court. They're too thin in the front court. Like, Luka Garza is playing for them. Luka Garza is like an important part of what they do. It's ridiculous.
This is on the random night, and the team shoots 63s, and it's like, it's regular season good, but game planning against it, they would have to have. They would have to have Jason Tatum to be like a team that would scare you in the playoffs.
They're too thin at the front court positions. Like, Queta's having a great time, but like in a 7-game series, you can exploit where he's deficient because he has deficiencies.
Last thing I care about is Sacramento the team that's going to swing things. So we've talked about some of the deals that could take place in the NBA, but we got like exactly a month until the trade deadline. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because over the weekend I had one of their games on, and I'm like individually, these are all players that I could see going elsewhere and like really helping somebody. Like DeRozan and Levine
Monk?
and Sabonis and Monk and Schroeder. Like, they're all kinds of guys that I think could help other teams. But it's a horrible fit, right? And so they suck. They're going nowhere. Like, are they the team? If they do the like just unload, they're 8-28. Who cares? And they just go ahead and decide, well, all right, fine. Like, we paid Keegan Murray, so we'll stick with him, and he's young still. So, but the rest of y'all, we're gonna find a place. And if they did like do the fire sale and just unload to like plan for whatever the future is, because we're 8-28 and gonna get a high draft pick anyway. Like, I think that's like, they are such an odd rat team. Very rarely do rat teams have like 6 guys I think could actually like really help teams. They do. None of it fits. They stink. But if they like moved off of these guys, I could see that like really boosting somebody up, and many of them like fitting into different scenarios. And so they are the one that I'm looking at the most, honestly, like as we head to the trade deadline, because I do think they've got, and they're like vet guys too, that have been around, that probably would love to be in a winning environment at this point. So you get a new lease on life. Like, they've just got to, these guys are not talentless guys. It's just, all of it is such a mess. And I was watching them and I'm like, damn, man, if they ever do decide to just put a for sale sign up, like, forget what they would get in return. I'm looking at it to who would get DeRozan, who would get Levine, who would get Sabonis. Like, if they do decide to just tear the thing down, they've got good players, like, that absolutely, I think, could change things. Like, you see, like we were talking about Malik Monk, like you were talking about, we were doing that show right after Christmas. It's like, man, Jordan Clarkson has like that's a big help for somebody like the Knicks, right? Just having another guy that can come off the bench, give you buckets, and you sit there and you go, man, if a good team got Malik Monk, that swings a bench unit completely.
Look at what De'Aaron Fox has done for the Spurs.
Right.
It's just something like that. Like a team like the Spurs that is sort of a De'Aaron Fox away from being a serious team. Yep. You could see even Dennis Schroeder, right? He killed the Knicks in the playoffs last year in a game. Like, if you put him on the Timberwolves,
right?
You know what I mean? It's a team that needs point guard help. The Timberwolves, or the Hawks, trade Trae Young, and they somehow bring in Dennis Schroeder.
And the
reunite Schroeder with the Hawks.
Right. And, well, the only reason I'm saying this is because and again, I'm not going in the trade machine, doing all the money, whatever. But like, let's just say there's a world and you looked up and Zach LaVine's now on the Bucks. Like, you look at that.
We just talked about them not having a second option.
You look at it completely differently.
Zach LaVine in that spot. DeRozan in that spot.
Right. And you could say, well, I don't like Zach LaVine or whatever. But like, if you put Zach LaVine on that team, all of a sudden you look at them infinitely differently for playoff basketball. Right? Because now I've got LaVine, Giannis, and whatever. Right? And again, I'm not saying that LaVine's an option for them and the money would work. Whatever. Yeah. I'm just opining. If the Kings want to move up, there are certain places for all of these different guys where I think it could swing things dramatically for the teams that acquired them. That's all I'm saying.
And I think that I like flash and flare. You know, I like highlights. I like LaMelo Ball. Yep. And that's one of the things I'm just never really been a huge Sabonis fan. Yeah.
Yep.
I was an Arvydas Sabonis fan. What was his dad's name? Arvydas Sabonis. But that dude, he could, if he's like on the Pistons, everyone's talking about Lauri Markkanen's perfect fit for the Pistons. Sure. But what if you end up, instead of paying 70 cents for Lauri Markkanen, you pay 30 cents for Sabonis? Like, that changes everything.
He absolutely could change things for a team.
Change everything.
Because he gets every rebound.
Sabonis he's 20 and 10 every time he laces his shoes.
He gets every rebound.
Put him on like the Celtics. I mean, again, I'm just like, playing fantasy, whatever. Like, all of a sudden that thin in the front court thing, or the Thunder, you're getting out rebounded all the time. I don't know. That is interesting because the Kings did this with the Spurs. They're like, oh, we're not going to get off of De'Aaron Fox. And now he's a cornerstone of what they do offensively.
Yep. All right. Next one.
I'm watching the game last night, and I'm on the East Coast. It's getting kind of late. It's like midnight. But I can't stop watching the Clippers and the Warriors because of one man. Not Kawhi Leonard, not Steph Curry. Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg in the booth. And I'm not familiar with the work of a gentleman by the name, let me look at my notes, Terry Galen. He was the play-by-play guy for this game.
Gannon?
Let me open this up. Terry Gannon.
Yeah.
I don't think in the wild Terry Gannon and Snoop Dogg would hang out too much. And Reggie Miller was doing his best to bridge the two. But Snoop Dogg was absolutely unhinged. Just unhinged the entire time. It was worth the watch. The clip that's going around is him talking about Steve Kerr when he got ejected, which was hilarious. But he was wild. And everyone's going to be like, oh, Snoop Dogg was high. Snoop Dogg gets high so much that when he's high, he's not even high. So we can't even blame like, oh, he smokes weed. That's why he's crazy. Like, no. He is a very likable. Just it was honestly like one of us was just given a microphone and was like, sorry, I have to use the bathroom. I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
And then so Reggie Miller's like, I'm having a baby. Jacoby, I love you on the mismatch. You take the microphone and finish this game for the second half. Because he's talking over people. He's making jokes. He's commentating the game as if he's watching the game on his couch. Oh, baby. Oh, give that up.
I think they're warming him up because when I was watching it, I honestly, until this weekend and I saw the commercials, I didn't realize the Winter Olympics start in a month.
It's an Olympics tie-in. So they hired him as like an Olympics correspondent, and it worked well. Not only that, he's got a chain on with a big NBC Peacock logo pendant on it. He's got glasses on. He's being dwarfed by Reggie Miller and Terry Gannon. I don't know how, because Snoop Dogg's pretty tall. He's like 6'4", 6'5".
Him and Kevin Hart are absolutely hilarious during the Olympics.
Yes.
Like that alternate broadcast is so funny. It's unbelievable.
It really is. And Snoop is like, dude, and the thing I care about is, are we going to get more Snoop? Will we get more sort of like stunt broadcasting like this? Because I don't want it during the NBA Finals, but during a regular season, late night Warriors Clippers thing, it was awesome. Like he transformed. He started doing this impression of like a 1950s, like Howard Cosell broadcaster. He's like, and the Clippers win. The Clippers win in a thriller. It was like, what are you doing, Snoop? He sort of like ran out of bits. It was weird, but I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't stop watching. And remember, the Clippers had this game like pretty handily until Steph hit a couple threes. But like when Steph hit his first three to like go on their run, Snoop was like, he looking for three. He looking for three. He looking for three. And then he hits a three. Snoop was like, I told you. It's somewhere like Terry and Reggie are like, am I supposed to do anything here? It was wild.
Would you watch a alternate broadcast? Like if they on Peacock and they just had like Snoopcast and you had an opportunity, like I'm saying, I will give you regular announcers and I will give you Snoopcast of an NBA game. Would you choose Snoopcast over regular announcers?
So I will answer that question two ways.
Okay.
If I were an NBC executive, I would 1,000% green light the alternate broadcast Snoopcast. I would. And
so it's like
NBA.
It's like Manning.
It's like Peyton Manning,
except it's Snoopcast.
But that's the answer to the question for if I was an NBC executive. But David Jacoby, I don't like the alternate. Personally, this is just my opinion. I prefer listening to the crowd noise and the traditional play-by-play color analyst format. It might just be because that's a format I've been watching the sport in for 40 years. But like, I prefer to watch the Monday Night Football broadcast versus the Manning cast. And I allow the internet to then filter the good parts and give it to me on my timeline. You know what I mean? Because I find if I'm watching the actual Manning cast, I'm like, I don't know. I like to watch the game instead of these guys talking about the game. But when it's good, the internet will feed it to me.
I love Manning. I love Manning cast.
So you watch the Manning cast
many times
instead of the game.
It depends on the game. and it depends on the guests. Many times I will turn off when they have a guest. Because I feel like I'm sitting on a couch with Peyton and Eli when they are watching the game and talking about the game. But when they bring on, whoever, Paul Rudd, I turn to Troy and Jack or Joe Buck. Yeah. Because I like the idea that they're talking about the game and and he's explaining things to me and that they're giving their opinions on these things. I like that. It's the guests that I don't care about.
I also think there's something to be said for the Manning cast. You're listening to two quarterbacks with very high NFL IQ.
Yeah.
So they can break things down in a way that's additive, whereas a Snoop cast would just be kind of funsies.
No, that's
You know what I mean? It's a completely different product. Where Snoopcast is like, if it's a blowout, let's have some fun and watch this. And also, like, Snoop wasn't exactly an unbiased, objective media member while this game was going on. I don't know if it's a Laker Clipper thing or if he's got more friends on the Warriors or whatever, but he was a Warriors fan doing a national broadcast.
I mean, he might have had money on it.
I mean, I'm not saying he did or didn't, but it felt that way watching it. And it was a lot of fun. And if Snoop is ever doing another game, which I'm sure he will, just make sure you give it a good 10-minute listen, because it's not just the clips that get to the internet and go viral that were interesting. Like, throughout, he was absolutely unhinged and weird. And it was awesome.
Well, there's the things we care about this week. Thank you to our executive producer. What? Oh, no. What?
No. I have one more thing before we go.
One more thing?
More mismatch on movies. I got so much feedback. Fantasy texted me and said, please stop talking about movies on the mismatch because you're threatening my job and my livelihood. And I
knew that was coming.
So I'm going to make this very brief, but I have 2 movie takes I want to share with you.
Hey, I thought I was going to pitch Bill and Fantasy about something. Do you want to hear my idea?
Yeah.
It's to compete with the rewatchables.
Rewatched?
Nope.
Rewatch the rewatchables and then do rewatchable episodes rewatched?
Nope. And this is from... How about this one? Don't anybody steal this idea. I'll sue you. I swear to God, I'll sue you.
Yeah, Verno's got lawyers.
The unwatchables.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good.
We watch the unwatchables.
Unwatchables, yeah.
That's what it is.
I love it.
It's just and we compete head to head versus them.
Yeah, I don't think they want that.
You guys watch movies that people like. We watch movies that everybody hates.
People hate.
Yeah.
We'll find it. We'll find if the human spirit likes positivity or negativity. I'm Darth Vader all day.
If I find out that the unwatchables already exist, I'm going to barf.
I know.
It probably does. All right. Anyway, what were you going to say? Sean Fantasy scared for his job, per usual.
Scared of his job. So I have 2 movie takes. Number 1, I tweeted this yesterday, but I was watching all the Greenland 2 promos. I was like, is this just brilliant marketing and there never was a Greenland 1? Because I don't remember Greenland 1 ever existing. The like Russell Crowe saves the world ends and Russell Crowe's there to save everybody. Have you ever heard of the movie Greenland?
No. The only thing I ever think of when you say that is in Greenland, unemployed in Greenland. That's what Fezzik says to Andre the Giant on the boat in Princess Bride. He tells him unemployed in Greenland. That's where he took him.
Really
he saved
Princess
him.
Bride.
I love it. He saved him.
Princess Bride.
That's what he said.
Greenland they're promoting Greenland 2 right now, and I've never heard of Greenland 1. A lot of people on Twitter responded and told me that it is a thing, but apparently it's a thing. And here's another thing I want to say about
Never
movies.
heard of it.
I take my kids to every movie because it's just an easy way to kill time, and it just gives my wife a little time without the older kids and whatever. So we see everything, right? We saw SpongeBob, whatever, fine. And I saw this film that it had a 56 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is bad. Like, that means you're going to a bad movie. And heading in, I was like, if that many people don't like this movie, it's probably bad. And I want to tell you that 44% of those people were absolutely wrong, because this movie was hilarious. I loved it. It's not good. It's just much better than you think it is. I laughed out loud like 5-6 times in the movie theater. At one point, I stomped my feet on the ground. I was laughing so hard. And this movie is
The Housemaid. What?
Anaconda.
Oh,
Anaconda.
Oh.
Anaconda. Like, no one's talking about it. Everyone's talking about Marty Supreme. And I just went there just to kill time. And I'm telling you, way above expectations. I hate movies about people making movies, like comedy writers and like Hollywood writers writing about writing. It always pisses me off. And it's one of those movies. So it's losing points because of that. But when I tell you, you can't watch that film and not laugh out loud like 7 times. And Jack Black, you can put Jack Black in anything and it's going to be hot. Anaconda was awesome. It was if you have like kids between the age of 8 and 14, take them to Anaconda. Take Haley to Anaconda. You will not regret it.
You think a 12-year-old would enjoy it?
I went with a 12-year-old
and liked it,
and 2 10-year-old girls,
and
everybody liked it. Everybody liked it. It was funny. It was stupid. It's a stupid movie.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. It's not
scary.
Stupid movie.
It's not scary.
Yes, we will do it on the Unwatchables in like 2034.
The Unwatchables with Dave Jacoby and Chris Vernon.
Yes.
All right. Thank you to our executive. We're coming for your head, Fantasy. Thank you to our executive producer, Jessie Lopez, as always. Jacoby, I'll talk to you later this week.